Hello and welcome. It is the 29th day of March 2021, currently 8:52 p.m. Eastern Time. As of the recording of this video, all bets, trades, and amongst the like is obviously each his own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. And let's take a look at Bitcoin as well as a few other altcoins as well. Okay, so as far as what we're seeing now, over the last so many days, which is since it got above here in March the 8th, we'll say, or March 9th on, price action has stayed above 51,000 low change. An area that was resistance in here. It's also an area it spent like 5 days only in here. So holding and staying above a higher level, making higher lows, doing what bull markets do. But it's only had a few, but a decent amount of resistance hits. And when it does break it, if it does, of course, and it probably will, so I should be saying the if, you can expect that there's a good chance you'll have a decent sized gain. Now, it kind of did that before because we have this high and it broke it in here. So far, it's like, oh, it's going to go big. Well, maybe because it's still correcting. So sometimes it might take a while, but in a spot like this, you have the higher low, you start to see momentum. Probability odds to tell me there's a good chance it continues to go higher. Now put some Fibonacci lines in before. And if we take a look at that from in here, that represents Fib from this low to this high. 38.2% gets above that, then it stays neutrality mode for quite some time. And 4 o'clock this morning, price action's breaking out above it, and it is holding and staying well above the 61.8% mark thus far in today's session. Doing just fantastic. You can see all the resistance hits in here. So Bitcoin right now doing very well, holding in there. Now let's move on to some altcoins. First off, Hedera, Hashgraph, HBAR. Having a very interesting rally today, pretty much giving all of its gains, most of its gains back thus far as it maintains to show strength amongst the 18 average of highs, which is a downgrade from breaking out in what was today's session. As price action got above the 18 average of highs, very well above it, resisting where we once came from amongst the March 15th highs and within the session, and very fast coming back to the area for which we came from. But only price pays. I was able to do a little bit, but not much selling amongst this upper end area, and if I'd rather a failed move that comes back down than just do a bunch of nothing if I'm able to get a sell at it. So, but as it goes, it's still holding within the 18 average of highs, rising like this, so still showing a good strength. And a lot of altcoins overall to me are showing very, very good setups, very well, still extended amongst the weekly term time frame because the Hedera had so many weeks like this, showing just staying within the 18 average of highs, consolidating very well. Major move higher, and it's still taking some time or price for it to catch up to the 18. Price reduction or correction 760 down to 530 hasn't been that big, and it's only been a couple of weeks. But because it's only been a few weeks, this thing is most certainly not as majorly overextended as it was the last time the price action was over 600. And if this thing, I mean, it looked like it was going to get going for potential large gains today, and it still might, but I'm not as optimistic now with how much it's given back. You have this move up here, a little bit of correction. Okay, that's normal. Break in here. Oh, yep, almost, yeah, matching high. But that's still fine. And higher low, I mean, if you can make a high at 700, even matching at 690, no. And then now we make this lower low, and then even it's now even lower than that now. So we'll see what happens anyway. I'm going to go over some of these other coins that I've talked about just once recently that I've gotten into. I've traded a little bit of these recently, just small amounts. I see something go up a bit, I'll put a little bit in. If it holds the rally, then I'll keep selling as it goes higher, and if not, I'll get a bit of failed rally or failed breakout profit. Amongst the hourly term time frame on LSK, a lot of higher lows that just came into play. Pretty much a matching high, but higher high here. Same thing here again, and just showing a lot of potential that this thing will get going. I bought this at a lower price just around in the 800 or something. So I sold a little bit in here. Then a little bit of it came back. So I ended up actually selling it. What happened today for the rally? I don't even have to think. Oh my God, it was sick how fast these things pull back. I mean, I have to do the 5 minute on this. It was just sick today. I was actually napping at this time, and I'm like, really? The market was way up here earlier. So I was able. I sold at. What did I do in here? I think I sold here. Then the LSK. No, it's another coin I did that with. It's a different coin. I sold it here, but before I ended up selling it here, and then I ended up buying back at 850. So I ended up getting the buyback. So the buyback that I had, I just recently sold it again. So that wasn't the coin that I was thinking about today, but that was one of the ones I wanted to show, and I think it's looking good moving forward. For it was ARC today that did what it did. Yeah, this is what happened at 2 o'clock. This thing goes from like 3,600 up to 44. I ended up buying this a few days ago back in this, as it was breaking out here at 32 or something in this area. And again, I gotta go 15 minute or even 5 minute time frame. And this is just how quick you gotta be sometimes. I mean, in these cases, you're able to get it back, but I missed this. And then I'm sitting here, and I end up selling at 41, I think it was, or 30, 39 and 40, 38. So I end up selling here, then I sold here, and I haven't. This hasn't been high enough yet for me to sell anymore. Or how did it work? And I sold 47. I sold 40. I sold 41 and 47. That's it. Yeah, I didn't sell that. And then I bought back at 4. So I bought this one back. And then I deposited it back into my wallet. And then this sale here, I ended up buying Tezos with, because I think Tezos is going to go up really big. Now I already own a lot of Tezos, but I just add a little bit more. Just what do I put this sale into is what it came down to. And we're only getting the 18 average on here. Approach on Binance, 18 months on here, and it's at the bottom area of the range. These things go up. When these things go up, they can go up fast. Even this move here was at 1,000 units to 37. So 3.7x. So these mean 100x moves. I mean, you might end up seeing these things look just a little smaller in time. See, I'm just saying this right now. Weekly term time frame doesn't look too great overall, but I mean, I think this is going to go up pretty good. I mean, you'd have to look at, when we look at these shorter term time frames, yeah, I think so. As it goes here on the daily, from the low, which is start of the year, have a little bit of rally, but it able to show it's not a failed rally, at least so far, because it's been able to hold and have many tests amongst the support area where I drew those lower lines. Failed breakout in here most certainly, but I mean, all the damage from the failed breakout so far is this. A lot of this neutralization in here, but now I'm starting to see how it's just trying to escape amongst the 18 average of highs. When we shorten at the time frame, it's going to look, for me it looks wowzers anyway. So 4 hour, let's just put one of those fun little lines in. Actually, no, I don't want to use a line, I'm just going to use the box. So this is the area that it resisted. At first it came up to the 795 handle, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even twice amongst this fifth opportunity. Even a decent amount of time here on 6. But on 7, it managed to come back to even just a more of a lower area of resistance of the previous points. Because every time it came down here, it always at least came down to about here. But not this time, about 3 periods ago. No. For the support on the 8-hour stamp today, is a higher low to this one, pretty much that general area for where we came from, and then immediate rallying, and we can see within this period here how it's just starting to have a nice, amazing break. So all of these resistances, when I see it like this, I mean, this whole big little range that this has had, and it's now just broken out north above it. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to fill some of this empty space, see this go to like even at least close to like the thousand handle, or 10,000 really, because there's seven decimals instead of six on here. But in percentage term gains, like 20ish or so percent for just a quick little move, I would looks like that's what the statement for what it is trying to tell me anyway. A couple more to end. We'll do next Go Chain, and I got a line up here because this is the area where I think the good sell targets are. But I actually sold a little bit of it earlier today, and if it keeps going up, I'll sell it again on the way to that levels. This way, if they're failed breakouts, then I'll get the buybacks. If not, I'll not dollar cost average, but Bitcoin cost average the sales, and then figure out what to put it into. I don't know yet. Right now it's in Bitcoin, what my earlier sale was, and all my other Go coins are in my hardware wallet. It's not too difficult to go to the website, put my private key in, and then once I put my private key in, I can send coins to the exchange, and then 4 or 5 minutes later I can sell them. But amongst this on the daily chart, from this point in here, you can see how it's doing a good job of grinding its way higher, and every single day, at least we don't know about today, but at least the previous days, having or weeks rather, pretty good correctionary moves. But the move on here, won't go this high, down and down here, back up, down like this again. How it's playing amongst the rising 18 average of highs, I think, is just phenomenal. And over even today's and yesterday's session, looking to me as if this thing is ready to have a decent size breakout. So we'll see if it does, but hey, looking pretty good to me. QTIM is also one I recently just these were just taking a lot of the theta profits in, most theta fuel profits in, as well as I got way too much and I'd want to get out of Ripple and Bitcoin Cash. I'm getting out of some of it here and there. So some of that here and there went into these coins, of course. So that's where I funded these coins from, mainly Theta, Theta Fuel, Ripple, and Bitcoin Cash. And so QTIM looking pretty good to me. We had a nice little rally up here back to where we came from, looking to me as if it's breaking out above the 18 average of highs. But on the hourly term time frame, 1800 hours, 6 p.m., had really downtrend, sideways action. Every time I try to get above the 18 average of highs, I mean, this is the early part of it. And man, not much. This was like hardly anything. A little bit of a failed breakout here, but just didn't do much there. Then it comes to 18 average of highs, and this time one red candle down, then the next two after that were very productive. Then you get this one that gets above the highs, and just the follow through so far to me has been just fantastic thus far. So we'll see about QTIM, but to me, I think it is poised, ready for a very, very good gain, I think. We'll see. And I'll finish it off with Theta, and these are all, today these coins are pretty much all against the Bitcoin. So another day we'll do the Theta against the dollar, but it's pretty much about the same for the most part. It's just kicking ass. A lot of sideways congestion ever since this came up March the 23rd, so that's like close to a week, a couple day or so away from a full week. Just this up and down choppy action between about 26,000 down to 20,000, no change. Currently in at 23 almost. On the single hour term time frame, right now the buyers have been in monster control. The bears, at some point, they're going to come through, and twice the bulls been trying to get it going, but haven't had major conviction on the last two attempts. But the fact that right now we're in this sideways consolidation in itself is amazing, I think. But throwing that out, this rally here on March the 25th, pretty good, but it made a lower high, which is fine after a good correction, but it was unable to successfully correct in here and stay where we came from. Thus, a retest, albeit a higher low, but not much of one, to where we came from. And then we had this rally happen last night, and I was like, oh wow, I was not expecting this. Okay, if this thing really wants to get going, because I know if this goes. I mean, we break through. I'm thinking $30, $40, which it's like a 3x move. I mean, does this got the potential to go like 50, 60,000 Satoshi 70? We'll see, but wow. I mean, I don't expect much more. I'm surprised it even got past 18,000 on a monster move as it is. So I mean, market's price only pays. So what it does is what it does. But I haven't been too impressed yet. Although it's still held well more than 61% from this low, but I haven't been too impressed with this correctionary move. In that, pretty much came down to it like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So the only bit of rallies from these lower prices has been in here, quickly rejected. And this, but it's just a tiny grind, and it's still fine and dandy. But until, because it's been now almost a week, we've had two good lower high rallies. After this good sell off, we've had one monstrous in time, retested that level. We've had a little bit of selling already, so as long as it's in this range, it's the trend is extremely neutral from an extremely bullish pattern from where we came from. And when we're in that extremely bullish pattern where we came from, it's only a matter of time, whether it's within the next hour, the next week, or month, before we have a break of it. And we can even extend the range too. So, I mean, maybe it comes down to here, and then we have a month sideways consolidation, and the range is 18,000 or whatever. But throwing that part aside, it's going to be in the range until it's not. A break to the downside means we got a lot of serious retracement. That's only a matter of time from a matter of when that's going to happen. Matter of time so far has been this kind of, or where, matter of where, and I guess when for time, whatever. The matter of the move has been this. So far, the high has been 27,000. And when you go from, I mean, it even came from 1,000, but even from like this break it of like 5 or so, like 6 to like 26, I have to at least think you're going to come down to here. If on the next good price correction. But maybe we don't get out of this range. We break it to the upside, and okay, well, we're still going to be due from that big correction. And that's why I say where is again. It's a matter of when and where and all that stuff, and where is in price and all that. Well, maybe it's correcting at 80,000 Satoshi, and we go back down to 26. And this major level of resistance is the big support. Those are all possibilities. And I'm already flabbergasted, surprised this even went this far, but I do realize that I got to adjust to the message of the market. And if the buyers do remain in control, then it's just going to be a matter of time before that's the case, that we have the break of this. But I mean, I guess you can say again, don't be surprised on a break when it does it. Either way, that you have a significant size move, meaning if we break it higher, we're going to be breaking north of about 28 to 28,000 good change. And we probably see 33 to 38,000 not so quickly after, relatively quickly after that. Breaking down below the support, which is obviously around 20, meaning if you're seeing like it noticeably below 20, 19,500 and lower, don't be surprised if we even see 15, 16,000. And although down moves can happen slower than up moves, but in a concise period of time or in a concise move. How about that? So that's why I say up. I guess it's safer for me to say up move, relatively quick period, because it's just, they just usually do it that way. Like this is relatively quick on the most previous rally that happened in here. This video has now come to a completion for today's date. Hopefully, a lot of these coins just keep on doing well. Actually, I want to take a look at Bitcoin dominance just to finish it off with, because it seems like a lot of these. And I haven't looked at this in a while, so this is raw analysis. Nothing here is showing that. I mean, it shows, I don't see big. Well, I guess it's going down. So yeah, I'm thinking opposite. Almost descending. Like, I mean, we're almost at this bottom area of major support. Support range, just by looking at this, is from like 60.97 down to like 60.35. At least that's what I see on the hourly. Major range it is, for sure. What a significant move that would be, possibly, if we break below it. Oh, ho, 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 ho. You can't, I mean, it's just trying to find a winner. It's a big major battle, if you will, in the boxing or UFC, MMA kind of ring, as I like to look at it. A big battle between the Bulls and the Bears. And the Bears are getting a few shots in right now. Bears meaning go down, whatever. But that Bull is still on his feet. A lot of support. Yeah, this is a heavy area of support. I mean, it first came down to it in early February, February 5th. And then it came in. I mean, we haven't been to this area since, at least based on this line, February 23rd. But I mean, we supported this level of resistance first on January 26th as well. And in a situation of this going down, that's when you'd see all these altcoins, and most likely in spots where it's like, oh, this coin's up 24% today. This one's up 42. I mean, they all just seem to be up. And then you go, oh my God, this one's up like 58% or 250%. It's just crazy, crazy type of movements that are going to be mind-boggling for a lot of people. I mean, go through a lot of life-changing portfolios right now. I've heard so much before in the past about like the greatest transfer of wealth. I don't know what they mean. And when I say I don't know what they mean, I do know what they mean. But it does look as if we're going through this right now. It is a crazy, crazy world. I mean, way back when with Bitcoin, I used to call it shitcoin for so many years. And well, what's it backed by? Well, I have noticed that it has done very well as far as increasing your portfolio in gold and silver and other miscellaneous things as well, like that. Done well doing things like home improvements. And it's relatively, if not more liquid than anything else I can think of. A lot more liquid, more liquid investment than gold and silver, and it's damn good for that. A liquid investment for me is something that could be turned into any major form of cash really fast and really easy. I mean, you got to do with gold and silver. You can head off down to your coin shop, coin dealer within the day, relatively fast. If you can maybe go on eBay, put a Craigslist or a Kijiji type advertisement or any type of internet ad, maybe you might get a call within a few days. Although you're bidder, just like on the market. Now you have to wait for a taker, maker versus taker. You put an offer in, and then you can contact places that you buy from. They will take it, so you can get that done in a few days. But you see, it's always going to be a lot of work. But to me, it's most worth it to need to do it when that's a situation to have that as a store of value. But the cryptocurrencies, like one of the things I always do when I buy on the internet via cryptos is when I push the final button that is required for me to send and broadcast a crypto trade on the blockchain, then I'll go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, deal with that all in my head, and then see how long it takes, because it doesn't. I mean, if I finish off 2 Mississippi, well, I mean, okay, so push the button, 1 Mississippi, okay, there's a check mark. Your payment has been there. When it's broadcast network, we have enough confirmations. We will then process your order. Oh, okay, cool, thank you. And then I'll go to a regular store. I'll get my actual debit, credit card, whatever you want to call those things. Put my PIN number in and then push the last button on there. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. Okay, there it is. Wow, that's about twice as long as cryptos. And that just seems to be the way it is. So I guess that's one more reason why it's maybe a little bit more liquid. Cryptocurrencies over digital fiat. I don't know. The video that I've now done is over. At least this one is. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.